Okay, so students, we were dealing with division of decimals. For division of decimals, we have seen some of the initial parts. കുറച്ച് കാര്യങ്ങൾ മാത്രമേ ഇന്നലെ കണ്ടുള്ളൂ. So first we will revise what we have seen yesterday, and after that we will move forward in the topic of division of decimal.
You will learn how to divide decimal numbers. The temperature of town A for the past 3 days has been 13.4, 12.6, and 14.8. The temperature is in the form of decimal numbers. Let's calculate the average temperature of this place in the last 3 days. To calculate average temperature, we can use the formula sum of temperature in 3 days divided by number of days. On substituting the values, we get 40.8 upon 3. To find the average temperature, we need to divide 40.8, which is a decimal number, by 3, a whole number. To divide, we will first convert the decimal number into a fraction. So we have 408 upon 10 divided by 3. When dividing a fraction, we take the reciprocal of the divisor and multiply. The reciprocal of 3 is 1 upon 3. On simplification, we get 136 upon 10. On division, we get the answer as 13.6.
Okay, so yesterday we have seen till here, that is how to do the division of a decimal with a whole number. So we had the decimal number 40.8, so that decimal number was converted into a fraction. So that was 408 by 10 divided by 3. So 3 ന്റെ reciprocal എടുത്തു, multiplication ചെയ്യുന്നു, final answer 13.6. Okay, so ഇത്രയാണ് ഇന്നലെ കണ്ടത്.
So the average temperature in the last 3 days has been 13.6. Let us now see the method used to divide a decimal number by 10, 100, and 1000.
Okay, so the next thing that you have to we are studying here is the division of the decimal number by 10, 100, and 1000. Okay, so multiplication നമ്മൾ പഠിച്ചു. 10, 100, and 1000 multiplication, അതായത് ഒരു ഡെസിമൽ നമ്പർ ഉണ്ടെങ്കിൽ 10 വെച്ച് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും, 100 വെച്ച് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും, 1000 വെച്ച് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്താൽ എന്ത് സംഭവിക്കും. നമ്മൾ കണ്ടത് എന്താണ്, ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ്സ് വിൽ ബി ഷിഫ്റ്റഡ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് ദ റൈറ്റ്. ഓക്കെ, റൈറ്റ് സൈഡിലേക്കായിരിക്കും ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ്സിന്റെ ഷിഫ്റ്റ്. അതായത് ഇപ്പൊ 10 വെച്ചാണ് മൾട്ടിപ്ലൈ ചെയ്യുന്നതെങ്കിൽ 10 ഹാസ് ഓൺലി 1 0, സോ ദ ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ് വിൽ ബി ഷിഫ്റ്റഡ് ടുവേർഡ്സ് ദ റൈറ്റ് ആഫ്റ്റർ 1 ഡിജിറ്റ്. 100 ആണെങ്കിൽ ആഫ്റ്റർ 2 ഡിജിറ്റ്. 1000 ആണെങ്കിൽ ആഫ്റ്റർ ദ ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ് വിൽ ബി ഷിഫ്റ്റഡ് ആഫ്റ്റർ 3 ഡിജിറ്റ്. Okay, the same way when we are dividing by 10, 100, and 1000, what will happen? അതാണ് നമ്മൾ നോക്കാം.
We convert the decimal number into a fraction and take a reciprocal of the divisor. We then multiply the respective numerators and the denominators and simplify further to get the answers.
Okay, so here 134.8 divided by 10. So 134.8 ആണ്, so we can convert this decimal number to a fraction. That will be 1348. Okay, by 10 divided by 10. Now divided by 10 ആണ്, this is a fraction, this is a whole number. Fraction divided by a whole number, we can convert it into multiplication by taking the reciprocal of the divisor. So that is 10 in the reciprocal 1 by 10. Okay, so 1348 by 10 into 1 by 10. Now we can multiply the numerator. So numerators multiply ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 1348. Denominators multiply ചെയ്യുമ്പോൾ 10 into 10 we will get as 100. Okay, now same way we are doing it with 100 and 1000. സെയിം രീതിയിലാണ് ചെയ്യുന്നത്. ഇനി when we see the last fraction, അതായത് ലാസ്റ്റ് ഒരു കിട്ടിയ ഫ്രാക്ഷൻ നോക്കുകയാണെങ്കിൽ we are getting 1348 divided by 100. Now divided by 100, it is a fraction. ഇതിനെ തിരിച്ച് ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ് ആക്കുമ്പോൾ ഡിനോമിനേറ്ററിൽ എത്ര സീറോസ് ഉണ്ട്? 2 സീറോസ് ഉണ്ട്. സോ നമുക്ക് കിട്ടേണ്ട ആൻസറിലും പോയിന്റ് കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 2 ഡിജിറ്റ് വേണം. Okay, so what we have done, 13.48. okay, so decimal കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 2 digits, that is 4 and 8 is there. So the final answer is 13.48. Now same way here, 1348 by 1000. So denominator 3 zeros under. So hello. Okay, so denominator we are having 3 zeros. Now since we are having 3 zeros, the answer will be having 3 decimal points after the decimal. Okay, so decimal കഴിഞ്ഞ് 348. Now same way here we are dividing with 10,000. 4 zeros are there, so decimal കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് 4 digit വേണം. So that is 0.1348. okay, so this is how we get when we are dividing the decimal number with 10, 100 and 1000. okay, now in this we can see a shortcut. ഇതിനകത്ത് ഒരു പ്രത്യേകത കാണാം നമുക്ക്, അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ഒരു ചേഞ്ച് ആണ് ഉണ്ടായത്. ഓക്കെ, സോ നമ്മുടെ ക്വസ്റ്റ്യൻ നോക്കിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ നമുക്കുണ്ടായിരുന്നത് 134.8. ഓക്കെ, സോ നമുക്കുണ്ടായിരുന്നത് 134.8 ആണ്. That was divided by 10. Now if you see the final answer, it is 13.48. okay, so we can see that the decimal point in ഒരു ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ഉണ്ടായിട്ടുണ്ട്. ഡെസിമൽ പോയിന്റ് 0.8 ആയിരുന്നു, ഇവിടെ 0.48 ആയി. So we can say the decimal point is shifted towards the left. decimal point ലെഫ്റ്റിലേക്ക് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് ചെയ്തെന്ന് നമുക്ക് പറയാം. okay, now same way we can see that if it is dividing by 100, we can see the decimal point was shifted towards the left by 2 digits, because 100 la 2 digits undu. Now same way the decimal point was shifted towards the left by 3 digits, because it is 1000. okay, so we can say in the final answer, when we are dividing the decimal number with 10, 100 and 1000, the decimal points are shifted towards the left. okay, as per the number of zeros. എങ്ങനെയാണോ zeros ഉള്ളത് അതനുസരിച്ച് towards the ലെഫ്റ്റിലേക്കാണ് ഷിഫ്റ്റ് എന്ന് പറയാം.
We observe some patterns which can be used as shortcuts while dividing a decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000. Notice that on dividing a decimal number by 10, the digits in the answer remain the same, but the decimal point shifts by 1 place from the right to the left. Similarly, when a decimal number is divided by 100, the digits in the answer remain the same, and the decimal point will shift 2 places from the right to the left. Now, when a decimal number is divided by 1000, the decimal point shifts 3 places from the right to the left. So, you learned that when you divide a decimal number by 10, 100 or 1000 and so on, you write the same number and shift the decimal point from the right to the left by as many decimal places as there are zeros in the divisor.
Okay, so this is what we learned. To divide a decimal number by okay, so to divide a decimal number by 10, 100 and 1000, we are shifting the decimal points to the left as per the decimal places as the zeros in the divisor. Okay, so I think you can.
You learned that when you make the right to the left.
Okay, so I think now you can write down this notes. Okay, division of decimal numbers by 10, 100 and 1000. Just write this down. Okay, so here dividing of decimal numbers with 10, 100 and 1000. So whenever you are dividing as per the number of zeros, we have to shift the decimal points towards the left. Okay, so after finishing, just indicate me.
To the left. 3 places. Divisor.
Okay.
Tom's car travels 76.48 kilometers in 3.2 hours. Let's help Tom calculate the average distance covered by the car in 1 hour.
Okay, so here we have a question. Tom cars travel 76.48 kilometer in 3.2 hours. What is the average distance covered by the car in 1 hour? So we can see distance is given, time is given. They are asked to find the average distance. So average distance in the we have to do the division. That is the total distance covered divided by the time taken. Time taken, distance covered തമ്മിലുള്ള division ആണ് നമുക്ക് ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. So here we are having a decimal number divided by another decimal number. Okay, so till now we have studied how to divide a decimal number with a whole number. Here it is a decimal number divided by another decimal number. Okay, so we will see how the division is done.
We know the distance traveled in 3.2 hours. So the distance traveled in 1 hour can be calculated by dividing 76.48 by 3.2. Notice that we need to divide two decimal numbers. To do that, we first convert the decimal numbers into fractions. To divide a fraction, we take the reciprocal of the divisor and multiply. We simplify the fractions by dividing with 4. And now we can divide the fraction by 2. So we get 239 by 10, which is 23.9 kilometers. Therefore,
okay, so here the distance covered in 1 hour, that is the average distance. Distance covered in 1 hour neയാണ് നമ്മൾ ഈ average distance എന്ന് പറയുന്നത്. So here 76.48 divided by 3.2 kilometer. So രണ്ടും decimal numbers ആണ്. So we are converting the decimal numbers to fractions. Decimal numbers to fractions convert ചെയ്യാൻ നമ്മൾ decimal point കഴിഞ്ഞിട്ട് എത്ര digits ഉണ്ടെന്ന് നോക്കുക. So that is 2 digits. So we can write by 100. Okay, now here decimal 3.2. So after decimal that is 1 digit. So that is by 10. Okay, so after now it is a fraction. Proper fraction ആണ് ഇതിന്റെ division ആണ് നമ്മൾ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്. So എന്താ ചെയ്യേണ്ടത്? 32 by 10 നെ reciprocal എടുക്കുക. So reciprocal എടുക്കുമ്പം 10 by 32. So after that we can do the cancellation. അതായത് സെയിം നമ്പേഴ്സ് ആണ് 2 വെച്ച് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും, അതേപോലെ 4 വെച്ച് ഡിവൈഡ് ചെയ്യാൻ പറ്റും. അങ്ങനെ cancellation ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ the final answer we are getting as 239 by 10. Okay, now again it is a fraction. We can convert this as decimal just by seeing that this is divided by 10. 10 എന്ന് പറയുമ്പോൾ 1 zeros are there. So കിട്ടുന്ന ആൻസർ so the final answer will be 23.9. Okay, I think you can write down this question also. Just write out this question. Finished. Okay, we have reached the end to our chapter number 2, that is fractions and decimals. Just see, let me see.
4. Tom's car covers 23.9 kilometers in 1 hour. In this module, you learnt that to divide a decimal number by a whole number, first, we have to convert the decimal number into a fraction. To divide a fraction, we have to take the reciprocal of the divisor and multiply it with the dividend. To divide a decimal number by 10, 100, or 1000, write the same number and shift the decimal point to the left by as many decimal places as there are zeros in the divisor.
So this much thing we have studied today. That is the division of a decimal number. We have to convert the decimal number into fraction, and we can do the normal division how we did in the fraction. Fraction അത് ചെയ്തതുപോലെ തന്നെ നമുക്ക് decimal number division ചെയ്യാം. പിന്നെ പഠിച്ചത് division by 10, 100 and 1000 ആണ്. That is the decimal point is shifted towards the left. Leftലേക്കാണ് shift by dividing. Okay, so I think we can stop our class today. Okay, so we have completed the second chapter. Second chapter complete ചെയ്തു. Okay, so next week I think you can we can do a revision. So you have to study the second chapter. we will have a small test or a test paper like that. I will ask questions. You have to answer it. Okay. So you have to study the second chapter, that is fractions and decimals.